Hello everyone and welcome to another video on learning Illustrator. Today is day 9 and let's quickly recap what all we learned in day 8. In day 8 we learned about pencil tool, selection tool and direct selection tool. And after that we tried quite a few examples and saw what we can actually do with pencil tools and combination of these two tools. And now let's see what all we are going to learn today. So today we are going to learn about transform tools. Now the tools it covers are rotate tool, reflect tool, scale and shear tool. So these are four independent tools which we are going to see. And then after that we will learn about transform panel and how can we make changes in our shape using transform panel. And after that we are going to see about transform options which we have, like all the options we get for separate rotation, reflection, scale and shear. And there are some other options also which we are going to see today. So let's quickly jump into Illustrator and let's get started. So open your Illustrator first and then create a new file. And I have my file ready with 1920 by 1080 resolution. So first of all, create a star tool to have a shape that we can work on for our rotation tool. That is our first transformation tool which we are going to learn today. Now while drawing the shape, I am holding the shift key so that it snaps to a particular angle, and I'm releasing my mouse click and the shift key. Okay, so I have my star. Now to select the rotate tool, what you can do is either press R on your keyboard, that is the shortcut key for the rotate tool, or you can click on this rotate icon in your toolbar. So now you have your rotate tool selected, and immediately you can notice that when I switch my tool from selection tool to a rotate tool, so this bounding box disappears and I got a crosshair at the center. This is actually called a reference point, and your shape is going to rotate around this reference point. So this transformation tool work in two ways. At the first click you are going to set your reference point, and at the second click you are actually going to transform your shape. So now I have my cursor as a kind of a crosshair. So at this time I'm actually going to place my reference point. So wherever I click, my reference point reposition to that place, and now I have my cursor changed to an arrow icon. So at this time I can click on a shape and move my mouse cursor or move my mouse to actually transform my shape. So right now we have selected the rotate tool, so I'm rotating the shape. Now again you can notice immediately after I have transformed my shape, so my cursor changed to this crosshair again, so I can reposition this reference, and again when my cursor changes to this arrow icon, I have the ability to rotate my shape. Okay, so I think that's fairly simple. Alright, so let's undo and have our shape back, or just delete all the shapes and create a new shape instead, which is start. Again press shift key. Okay, and the next tool we are going to see is reflect tool. So to select reflect tool, again you can click and hold on this rotate tool icon, and this new window opens, or this new sub panel opens. From here you can click on reflect tool. The shortcut key for reflect tool is O, so either you can press O on your keyboard or select it from a menu bar. Now like rotate tool works, the reflect tool works the same way. First you position your reference point and then you can click and reflect your shape. Now how does reflection work? So for that we actually should take a shape which is not symmetric. So let's create a shape instead. I'm going to draw a rounded rectangle and select direct selection tool, and we will make some changes here. Select these two anchor points, move them over here, and select this anchor point, move it further. Okay, and select this. Okay, so this looks good. Now we have a shape which is not symmetric, and actually we can change it from bottom side also. Let's move it over here and change this point to something like this so that it looks good. It's just for Okay, Control 0. Now I have my shape which is not symmetric from any direction, and now we can see the implementation of reflect tool on this. So first of all, select our shape and then click on the reflect tool to select the reflect tool. Now again it has positioned my reference point at the center of the shape, which I don't want. I will click somewhere over here, and now when I click on this shape, you can see I'm actually reflecting, or my shape has mirrored across a vertical axis. Now why I say vertical axis? Because it has mirrored across this axis. Okay, so you will be able to notice it now. So select our reflect tool, position the reference point, and now when you move your shape, you can see it has been reflected. So click on OK, and there I go. Now what if I want to copy the shape while reflecting? So we already know a shortcut key for that, that is Alt key. So we have learned while using the move tool that if we press Alt, then we can actually duplicate the shape. So we are going to use the same thing again. Again, I have to reposition my reference point. Once repositioned, I can reflect my shape, and while reflecting, I can press Alt key this time. You can see my cursor has changed to a double arrow. Now when I release my cursor, I get a duplicated shape. So actually you can use this kind of technique for so many ways. Let's say if you want to create a sunglasses from the front if you're creating sunglasses, then you can use this technique over there. You can just create one half of the sunglass, and you can just mirror it, or you can reflect the other side. Similarly, if you are creating any human or anything from front view, then you can pretty much reflect everything to the other side. Now there will be some changes like the hairstyle or the eyebrows, or there might be expressions which you cannot reflect, but most of the part you should be able to reflect. So again, that depends on the kind of design you are making. So yeah, that's how we can use reflect tool. Okay, so we have covered two tools right so far, and now what we are going to see is the tool options which we get. So again, we can select our rotate tool first, or before that, just draw a shape. Okay, and double click on the rotate icon this time, or rotate tool. So now you get this option window. So this option window is available with all the transform tools we are going to learn, and we are going to cover this option windows with every tool. All right. So in this option window, what we have is this angle first. So you could have guessed by now, if I move this angle, then it is going to rotate my shape at the same angle. So to rotate this, or to change this angle, you can either rotate in this circle, you can click and drag your mouse in this circle, or if you want more precise values, you can type your values over here. Let's say 60.634. Okay, 634 instead, and press tab to have your values. And now you can click on preview to see actually what changes this option is going to bring in your original shape. Now a word of caution, while changing the values, let's say if I change it to 30%, 30 degrees, sorry, don't press enter to see the changes, because if you press enter, it will automatically click on OK. So to do that, what you can do is, while changing the values, you can press tab instead of pressing the enter. So now you can see what is happening to my shape and what changes it is bringing, what changes this option window is bringing to my shape. And when you are certain about the changes, you can click on OK, or you can click on copy. So yeah, what copy button does is it copies your shape. So now you have two shapes. One is the original one and one is the newly rotated one. So actually you can use this for a number of ways. Let's say if you want to repeat a design. So we have learned in previous video that if we want to repeat certain command, or if we want to repeat certain transformation, we can press Ctrl D on our keyboard. So let's do the same thing. Double click on this rotate tool, and change this value to 5% or 5 degree. Okay, press tab to see what changes it brings, and it looks okay. Actually, we shouldn't be doing that. Right now, let's just bring it back to 0 degree. And now we are going to change it to 3 degree and press OK. Oh, sorry, instead of OK, you have to click copy. So 3 degree and click copy. And now you have your shape rotated at 3 degree angle. Now what you can do is press Ctrl D and keep holding until it rotates and it creates a full circle around it. So now you can see you have very pleasing design over here. Now you won't be able to see this entire design because these all shapes have white color filled in it. So to avoid that, you can select all of them and you can select this fill color and select none in this. So now you get this kind of design. Okay, so it looks a bit incomplete, so let's complete it again. To do that, we can undo. I just hope it supports that many undos. Okay, so we can undo now and let's have fill none. And now we can again double click on rotate tool and now we can even we can reduce our rotate angle to 2 degree because I thought 3 degrees too much and click on copy and now we have a rotated shape. So now press Ctrl D again and again and you will see what do we get here, and it looks incomplete right now until it rotates again by 360 degrees. Okay, so this looks really good and now you can see we have actually created a very interesting design over here, which if you actually want to create by lines or if you try to create it by pencil tool or any other tool, it would have taken you ages. But right now I just made some changes in the option window and I pressed Ctrl D and here I have a very nice and interesting design. Again, you can play around with colors, select all of them and select the outline color to something gray so that it looks even better, and you can select all of them and drop the outline or the stroke width to zero point 0.5 points. So it looks much sharp and clear now. I think we can go to 0.25 points and yeah, this looks even better. So yeah, that's just a trick, a simple trick which I just told you how you can make some interesting designs. And there are thousands of tricks like this you can explore and you can experiment in Illustrator and see if you can come up with something interesting or something very different. So yeah, with this, let's see the next option or the next tool options we have. So I'm going to delete this shape right now and create another shape. This time, let's create an ellipse. Okay. Press A to go to direct selection mode and make some changes to the shape so that it's not symmetric, so that we can see that reflection is actually happening or not. And here, what shape should we make? Something, this is more like a bean, but it's still symmetric along this axis and I don't want that. So I think that is fine. Okay, that is fine. That is a good shape for the demo. And let's have a default fill in this. Okay, now select our reflect tool and double click on this icon to get the option window for reflect tool. Now here we have two options first of all, which is horizontal and vertical. Now this is actually an axis along which axis you want to reflect. You would have remembered when I was mirroring or when I was reflecting the shape before, I said that it's reflecting across vertical axis. So from here you have the ability to define whether you want to reflect it along horizontal axis or vertical axis. So let's say I choose horizontal axis. So my shape is now mirrored across horizontal axis. And you would not be able to see much difference now because we have only one shape. So what we will do is we'll copy the shape and press Ctrl Shift V to have shape copied at the same place. And this time we will fill the outline color with red and have no fill in both of these shapes. so that we can see through these shapes. All right. Again, double click on reflect tool to get this option window. And now you can see if I click on horizontal, then this is the line actually. This is the center line which is passing through both of the shape. And along this line or along this axis, the shapes are being mirrored or the shapes are being reflected. Now, if I choose vertical axis, then you can see that this is the axis actually from where they are being reflected. Or to make it even more clear, I can actually draw axis for you. So let's say this is our vertical axis. And this should be our horizontal axis somewhere around here, I think. Okay, yeah, this is fine. And change their color to gray so that it won't come in the way of our shape. And select our shape now. Oh, I moved it accidentally. So let's undo and double click on our reflect tool. And this time when I click on horizontal, so you can see, yeah, this is the line along which it got reflected. And when I select vertical, so this is the line, the vertical line along which it got reflected. So I hope this is clear to you now. Now you have the ability to change the axis also. You can define your own angle. So instead of 0 degree, if you change it to some certain angle, then you are actually changing the angle of a reflection axis. And you might find it useful in some of your work. Again, you can click on preview to have your preview turned on, or you can turn it off. That's up to you. And yeah, these are all options we get in reflect tool. Again, you can click on copy to have a copy of this one, or you can click on OK. So I'm going to click OK right now, and there I have my shape, newly reflected shape. Let's delete this two axis, and yeah. Now there is one problem with this option window, that is you cannot set your reference point again and again, or you cannot even set your reference point at all. So let's have a quick demo about this and let's see how it's actually affecting. So let's select rotate tool for the demo, and now what I can do is I can click and set my reference point, and then I can rotate. Again, if you want to rotate, you can click on your reference point and rotate along it. So yeah, that's how it works. But now if I double click on this, you can see that my reference point has changed from here and it has moved to the center of the shape. Even if I reposition it and then I double click on this, then you can see that it again got repositioned automatically. So this is a disadvantage if you are using the options or the tool options. But if you actually want to rotate it from the center, then it is a good option above using the tool, because you get a higher level of control and higher level of precision while using the options. Here you don't see any values and you don't have any control that at what angle you are actually rotating. Okay, so the same applies to this reflect tool also. If you double click, if you set your reference point somewhere and double click on this, so it reposition your reference point to the center of the shape. So yeah, this is the only disadvantage which you get when using the tool option. Okay, so after learning about the tool options and about few of its shortcomings, let's see a little bit more about setting reference point and working around it. So like I said, if you click first and you can set your reference point and then you can rotate your mouse, and now you have this reference point cursor again. So again you can reposition your reference point and then again you can click and rotate. So yeah, now what if I want to rotate along a single reference point again and again? So it is a perfectly bad idea if I click on the same reference point again and now I rotate, because every time I click over the same place, there is a chance that I misplace somewhere and there is a slight chance of error every time. So instead of that, what we can do is you can set your reference point at once, and from now onwards, when you click and drag, you can actually make changes to your shape, and when you just click, you can again set your reference point. So if you want to rotate along same reference point again and again, you can just click and drag every time. You don't need to set your reference point again and again, just click and drag. And when you feel like you want to change your reference point, so again you can just single click, change your reference point, and from next time onwards, if you just click and drag, you can change your shape or you can rotate your shape along that reference point. So yeah, that's a little information that might be helpful to you. So now let's move on to next tool, which is scale tool. Okay, let's delete this shape first and create a shape which is star tool or a star. So press shift. Okay, so there I have my star. Now to select the scale tool, the shortcut key for that is S, or you can select it from your toolbar by clicking on icon which looks like this. So I select it from a toolbar, and again I have my reference point over here. I can click and set it to any other place I want, or I can just keep it at center. So for a demo purpose, let's just move this reference point to a top position. Okay, now I can click and drag to scale my star in a way I want. Now it is scaling from both the axes, the horizontal and the vertical axis. So like you can see, now we know if we want a proportionate scale, we can press shift so that it scales from both the direction, horizontal and vertical. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Now let's see the options we have in scale tool. Okay, so double click on this to get the scale option. Here we have two things, uniform and non-uniform. So the uniform is while holding the shift, so that says the uniform scale. Non-uniform is if we don't hold the shift and we just move our mouse, that is non-uniform scale. In that we can scale our shape in both horizontal and vertical direction. And now you will see these values which says 100%, 100%, 100%. So by default, the scale is 100%. If you reduce it to 0, the size of your shape will be 0. So this 100% defines the size, actual size at which percent your shape is. So right now it is 100%. If you change it to 200%, it will just double the size of your shape. So here I have just star, which is exactly 2 times the size of the previous star. So again, undo and open the options. And in the non-uniform, you can change these values independently. Let's say the horizontal, in the horizontal direction, make it 50%, and in the vertical direction, make it 200%, and press tab to see the changes. Now, a good thing is I have turned on the preview so that I can see my changes on the go. Okay, so that's how my star will look, but I don't want that. Let's make it uniform and make it 100%, and click OK or click on copy to have your transformed shape as a new object. Okay, so let's delete this new star and let's see some more option in scale tool. Now the next thing we have is scale strokes and effects. So to see this option, let's go back to our star and see the outline first. So the stroke value here is 1 point. Now when I double click on this and I have this checked on, so what it says is actually it will actually scale my stroke along with the shape. So let's say we make it 200%. Now the 200% of 1 point is 2 points. So let's see if it really changes something or not, and click on copy. So yeah, you can see the outline of my star is much thicker compared to the first one, and if we see the value, it is exactly 2 points. Now let's go to the scale options again, and this time we will uncheck this and again scale it by 200% and make a copy of it. So this time you can see the stroke value is 2 points only. It has not changed from 2 to 4, and my star has scaled. So it again depends on the kind of requirement you have. If you want to scale your shape but don't want to scale the outlines, then you can uncheck that option. If you want to scale your outlines along with your shape, then check that option and scale your shape. Now it applies with all kind of transformation. So even if you scale your object with the move tool now or the selection tool, it will be applicable to the selection tool also. If I double click here and I check this option and click OK. Now every time, even if you're scaling from your move tool, you can see the changes happening to the outlines. So the outline is getting thicker when you increase the size of your star, and it's getting thinner when you decrease the size of your star. So yeah, it's like a general scale option for the whole Illustrator, which you can change from here. So right now we just leave it like this and click on cancel. Now let's see our next tool, which is shear tool. So let's delete all of these shapes and create a rectangle instead, or create a rounded rectangle. Okay, so I'm pressing shift to have a perfect square, and now you can click and hold on the scale tool to get this sub panel window, and now you have the shear tool. Unfortunately, there is no shortcut key for this, so you have to manually select it from the toolbar. So click on shear tool and you have your tool selected. Again, you have this reference point over here, whether you want to shear it from the center or you want to shear it from any other point you want. So let's say this box is placed on the floor, and actually let's create a floor itself and scale it a bit. Okay, so now you can see that my line was this thick, but when I scaled it in one single direction, this outline is actually getting thicker. So that's okay. There's no problem with that. Select the shear tool and put our reference point at the mid somewhere here, so that it's on the floor, and we'll see that it gives us a illusion that it is shearing or it is transforming from the floor, like it is stuck somewhere on the floor and we are moving the top part. So what we can do now is click on a shape and move it in any direction we want. It might look very confusing when moving mouse around. So what you can do is, to make it even more clear, hold the shift key and try to move your mouse in horizontal direction so that you can see what it actually does. Or you can even move it in vertical direction. So for vertical direction, we might want to change the reference point to here somewhere. Okay. Now you can click over here and move it in vertical direction. So you can see the shearing is happening to our shape, and when you move it in horizontal direction, keep holding the shift so that it snaps to a horizontal axis. So yeah, that's how the shear tool works, and when you release your mouse, then you have your transformed shape. Okay, so like other tools, this tool also have some options with it. So first of all, undo this transformation and double click on this tool to have our option window. Now here we have this shear angle. So at what angle do you want to shear it? So let's say 27%. Okay, so that's fairly simple. Now again, the reference point is center, so it's shearing from both the directions, from the top from both the sides, from top as well as from the bottom. And you can keep changing these values to have this reflected, to have this. And you can keep changing these values. Either you can click on this circle and drag your mouse, or to be on high precision level, you can type your values from here. Let's say 45 degree and press tab instead of enter to see your reflected values. Okay, again you can switch to horizontal or vertical axis. Like right now it's shearing along horizontal axis. So if you select vertical, then it's shearing along vertical axis, like we did with the shift key, like when we press the shift key and we move our mouse around. So actually that's what we were doing here. And again, if you want to create your own axis, or you want to change axis to a certain angle, you can switch to angle and change this axis to any angle you want. Okay, so right now I'm just keeping it horizontal, and you have this preview button. You can check and uncheck it. Now you have these two disabled options in every transform option window or in every option window. So we'll see how this actually works. Right now just click on cancel, or let's have a copy of this one and click on Control D and press Control D to see what are we getting here. So yeah, again the same kind of pattern we are making. It's not very impressive this time. So let's undo it and have our shape back. Control 0 to fit our artboard to the screen. Okay, so now let's see how those disabled two options will work. So first of all, let's click on this, and what this option says is transform objects and transform patterns. So for that, what we have to do is we have to fill a pattern in our shape. Right now it's just a single color, that is white color. So instead of this white, we have to fill some pattern. To do that, what we can do is go to our swatches from over here, and there you have these two patterns by default. You can click any of them to have a pattern fill inside your shape. Okay, so that looks good. Now let's see this rotate tool. Now it has this transform pattern unchecked on it. So to have a demo for this one, let's copy this shape 2 times. I'm pressing the Alt key to copy the shape and the Shift key so that it copies on the same single axis, horizontal axis, and release my key. Okay. Now let's make some changes to the first shape and double click on this tool, and this time we have unchecked this one and it's good. So now let's rotate this, and you can see my object is being transformed, but the pattern is not. Pattern is staying at the same place and I'm only rotating my shape. So this time let's check this option, transform pattern, and make value to 0 first and click OK. Now this time if we rotate our shape, you can see that patterns are also rotating along with it. Okay, now let's press Ctrl Z to undo these transformations, and now let's see one more combination we can do with these two options. This time we will uncheck transform object and we will check transform pattern. So you would have guessed by now that it will only rotate the pattern instead of the object. So let's change the value from here, and you can see that this time only our pattern is rotating and our object is staying at a place. You can click on OK to have those values reflected, and that's all these two options are going to do. Now let's see about transform panel. So we can actually delete this shape and keep this one. And to open the transform panel, go to window, and from here you have this transform panel, which is Shift 8. Shift 8 is a shortcut key for this transform panel. So you can press Shift 8 on your keyboard. I'm going to click on this sub menu to select this panel, and there you have my panel opened already. So in this panel, to make it work, first of all we have to select the shape, and then here we have our X and Y values which we can change to move the object, and then we have this width and height which we can change to scale the object. Again you have this link icon here, so if you click on this one you will get a proportionate scale, and when you click on this then you can independently change the value of width and height. You have this drop down here which you can use to rotate your object to any certain angle. You can select any of these values and it will rotate your object at that angle, or you can click on this and you can type your own values, let's say 67 degree, and press enter to have your values reflected. And next to it you have this shear drop down. So from here if you select any value, it will shear your object based on that value. Let's say -60 to have a shape back. Again you can click and type your values over here, let's say 70%, and you have your object shear. So these are all options we get in transform panel. So yeah, it's all those values which we have seen so far in all these 4 tools. It's the same thing, but here you get all these things in a single panel. So now next to it, let's learn a free transform tool, and let's see how it works. So delete this shape and create a new shape which is a polygon. Let's create a hexagon. Now you can see that we made changes to the pattern. So now if we're creating any shape, this pattern, we are getting this transformed pattern in our shape. So to reset this, we have to transform it back, or we can just have a single fill in our shape. To select the free transform tool, you can click on this icon, or the shortcut key for this tool is E. So click on this icon and now you get this separate panel over here. The first one says constraint, the second one says free transform, the third one says perspective distort, and the fourth one is free distort. So we are going to see all these four options one by one. First of all, let's see this free transform. And before that, you might want to notice the changes in our bounding box. So when I select my selection tool, so you can see the bounding box I have has square kind of dots at the corner and at the center. But when I switch to free transform, all the square dots turns to a circular. So this is just for a visual purpose so that you know the difference. And the working is still the same. You can go to any of the corner points and you can drag your mouse out to scale in or scale out, or you can make changes to your shape. Or on the same point, if you click and move your mouse in a circular way or circular fashion, then you can actually rotate your shape. Now, if it is confusing for you, you can just go out of the bounding box so that your cursor changes to a rotation only. And now from here, you can only rotate your shape. Now you won't have the ability to scale your shape from outside the bounding box. Again, on the midpoints, you can click and drag out to change the scale on a single axis. Or if you move your mouse along this bounding box line, then you can actually shear your shape. And this time both shear and scale is happening to the shape. So yeah, this tool gives the next level of freedom where you can apply two transformations from a single point without using the transform panel. Okay, so the same applies to a horizontal or a vertical points or the other points we have here. So it works the same way. Okay, so the next option we are going to see is this one, constraint. So let's click on this, and from now onwards, when we click and move or we try to scale our shape, we are going to have a proportionate scale. No longer we are able to move or scale our shape independently in horizontal or vertical direction. So the width and height of the shape now changes proportionally. Okay, so that's the only functionality of this icon or this option. So let's uncheck this right now. And the next option we are going to see is perspective distort. So click on this one, and immediately you can see my bounding box has changed again, and all those mid points or the mid circular points has disappeared. Even when I move to any of the corner point, my cursor changes to this perspective grid. So I can click and move my mouse in any direction to give a perspective kind of scale to my shape. So this works in both the direction, vertical and horizontal direction. Yeah, so if you're working on certain perspective like one point perspective, 2 point perspective, or 3 point, then you can just draw your shape in a plain way, and based on your perspective grid, you can transform your shape in a way you want. Okay, so that is fairly simple. Now let's move on to third option or the fourth option, which is free distort. So this option is very robust, and here what we can do is all these points are independent. So when you click and move, this every single point moves freely, and they don't have any constraint compared to the other points or respective to the other points. Okay, so this gives me another level of freedom where I can change my shape in any way I want or transform my shape in any way I want. So yeah, that's all with all these four options. Now let's see some more transform options we get in Illustrator. Now for those transform options, what you can do is right click on the shape, and from here you get this transform option here, or we can say submenu. Under this submenu you get bunch of other submenus which are move, rotate, reflect, shear, and scale. So we already have actually covered all these options in the tools. So even if you click on one of them, let's say rotate, then you can see we are getting the same option window which we used to get when we double click on rotate tool. So yeah, it is the same option window, the functionality is still the same. You can right click on any of them, and for the reflect one, we have the same option window which we have covered already. Again, if we go to the scale one, we have seen this option window and we have covered it entirely. So I'm not going to cover these windows again and again. Now the new thing we have here is move, which is a little different because we haven't covered it before. So now you can change your value for the horizontal and vertical direction. So it will move your shape in to that particular pixels. So let's see right now, click on move, and I will say move it to 100 pixels from the top and 200 pixels on the vertical axis. Alright, so it is calculating the distance, that how much distance I have moved, and even you can decide the angle, on which angle you actually want to move it. And when you are satisfied with your transformation, you can click on OK or click on copy. So you can see that this is the transform shape, or the shape which we have moved right now. This one was the original. But instead of using this option, I mainly end up using the selection tool itself, because this is a way more convenient than right clicking on the shape and then going to move options and then move it from those values. So, but yeah, there is an option and we should know it, that something like that exists. Okay. So again, let's see the next option we have, which is transform each. And the option keys for that, and the option key for that is Alt Shift Control D. That is a kind of entire left side of your keyboard. So yeah, instead of using the shortcut key, I just prefer to click on this submenu. Okay, so here we have our transform each window, and like you can see, we have all these options available here, like scale, move, rotate, and option. So yeah, it is a kind of, you can say, a option window for transform, free transform tool. But the only thing is we cannot double click on this tool and open the option window. What we have to do is right click on this shape and go to transform and click on transform each to open this option window. Okay, so like the name says, scale, we can scale it in horizontal direction or vertical direction. You can click on preview to see the value changes. Okay, again, we can move it from here, either in horizontal axis or in vertical axis. You have this rotate option here, which you can click on this dial and move your mouse to rotate the value, or you can either type it from here. Then you have these options for either reflecting it in X direction or Y direction, and there's a button for random, which actually takes all these values and transform it into a random thing, or transform this shape into a random values. So every time you click on this random, it will take all these values, make a random values of all this, and it will inflict on your shape. Okay, then you have this scale, stroke, and effects. We have seen this option that it will disable or enable the stroke scaling. Then you have this transform objects and transform pattern. So if you have any pattern field, it will scale along with the object, and if you uncheck this, it will not. Now next to it, you have this reference point. So you can click and set your reference point at a particular place from this window itself. So let's see this reference point thing, because this is something new which we have encountered so far. And after that, we are going to see the random option. So for that, let's create a star. Okay, so there I have my star shape, and right click on the shape, go to transform and transform each option. From here, what I want to do is I want to rotate my star from the top corner or the top center. So what I can do is go to this reference icon and click on this top center box. Now my reference has been set to this one, and from here onwards I can change my angle to 15 degree, or let's make that circular pattern again. So 2 degree, turn on the preview, and this time along with the angle, what we are going to do is scale the shape also. So let's say 100 is default, so scale it by 98%. Okay, we are not going to move the shape, because then it will keep changing the reference point, and that's what we don't want. And click on copy, select both of the shape, have fill none, and select the first shape, or the newly reflected shape, or the newly transformed shape, and press Ctrl D now. So now you can see how beautiful it has come out. It has created such kind of pattern by itself, and if you try to fill some color in it, I think it will, yeah, it looks really good. So it gives a very abstract design over here, and this is just another example of what you can do by using these options. So again, what I have done is I have just selected the shape, right click, went to transform each option, and I changed some values, and then I just duplicated that transform again and again. So let's do the same thing, but this time what we'll do is we'll use the random option instead of creating our own values. So again, create a star and select the shape, right click, transform, go to transform each, and this time, okay, so what we have to do now is we have to change this values a bit. So what it will do is it will take these values and make a random value out of it. When we set it to default one, it will not be able to change any values by itself, because it is only playing with 100%, 100% and 0%. So we have to change the values a little bit and then click on random to see the newly changed shape. Okay, and when I feel like this is the transformation I want, I can click on OK or I can click on copy. So yeah, I think this one looks good. Click on copy and then press Ctrl D. So it has created something like this. I don't know whether it makes any sense or not. Let's have fill none, and yeah, it gives a little abstract design kind of feel, and you might want to use it somewhere. I don't know where should we use it, but yeah, it's just a demo of that, what all we can do using transform each option. Okay, now let's see the last thing in this video, which is reset bounding box. So it's just a very simple thing. Let's create a star for that demo, and now rotate the star. Yeah, you can notice that when I change my shape or when I rotate my shape, my bounding box rotates also along with the shape. Now, if you want to reset your bounding box, what you can do is right click, go to transform, and there you have your option which is called reset bounding box. So click on this and you have your bounding box reset. Again, you can transform your shape or rotate your shape in any way you want. Again, click on reset bounding box to reset your bounding box. So that's just a simple option that resets your bounding box if you intentionally want to do it. Otherwise, I prefer the bounding box the way it is, because it tells me that yeah, there is this kind of rotation that has happened on this shape. So that's all we are going to cover in today's video. Now you can go ahead and try these options or try this transform options on various shapes and see if you can actually create something by this. Also, you can use our previous chapter knowledge, like we have learned how to create the shapes, various shapes, and fill colors and all these things, and see if you can actually create some kind of artwork, or have you reached that level. And as soon as you start creating this kind of artworks, you will know that what else you need to learn or what else you need to know in the software to complete that design. So I think, yeah, it's a good time that you should start creating your own artworks now, because I think you have learned enough of the software. So yeah, good luck with your designs, and I will see you in the next video.